Hey, Skull Vikings Nation. What's up, you purple-blooded warriors? Can you believe it? Our Minnesota Vikings just turned US Bank Stadium into a total slaughterhouse yesterday, dismantling the Cincinnati Bengals 48-10 in a game that had me jumping out of my seat, like we just won the Super Bowl. I'm your die-hard Vikings fan here, pumping with that same fire you feel after a massive W. And today on Vikings News, we're diving deep into this defensive masterclass that has the whole league buzzing. Picture this. A cornerback rewriting NFL history before halftime, our backup QB making magic, and the Bengals left picking up the pieces without their star. Stick with me, because if you think that PICK-6 was wild, wait till you hear how it all unfolded. It's the kind of story that reminds us why we bleed purple. Who's ready to relive the glory? Hit that like button if you're hyped, and let's charge into the details. The Vikings came into Week 3 at 1-1, licking our wounds from that tough loss to Atlanta, but with J.J. McCarthy sidelined by a high ankle sprain. Man, that kid's been battling injuries since day one, missing his whole rookie year with a knee issue, and now this sets him back 2 to 4 weeks. Enter Carson Wentz, the North Dakota native who grew up cheering for us in Bismarck, stepping in like a hometown hero to make NFL history as the first QB to start for 6 different teams in 6 straight seasons. On the other side, the Bengals were 2-0 but reeling without Joe Burrow, who just underwent surgery for that brutal grade 3 turf toe from their win over Jacksonville. Expected to miss at least 3 months, maybe the whole dang season. Jake Browning under center? We smelled blood in the water, folks. And with Aaron Jones nursing a hamstring, Jordan Mason stepped up huge. This wasn't just a win. It was a statement that our Vikings are built for the hunt. What do you think? Can Wentz keep the momentum if McCarthy's out longer? Drop your take in the comments. But hold on to your horns, because the real fireworks started on defense, where Brian Flores' unit turned into a swarm of angry hornets, forcing 5 turnovers total and holding Cincy to just 53 rushing yards, their worst ground game yet this year. We're talking a clinic that blew Cincy out 34-3 by halftime, adding 14 more in the second for the final dagger. Isaiah Rodgers, our offseason free agent gem from Philly, wasn't just good, he was legendary, becoming the first player in NFL history to snag a pick-6, return a fumble for a score, and force 2 fumbles all in one game. And get this, he did it all before the break. Acquired to shore up our secondary, Rodgers tipped the scales with blazing speed and instincts that had Harrison Smith grinning like a proud vet. Skol to that, brothers and sisters. This is Vikings football at its ferocious best. Who's your defensive player of the week pick? Rodgers or the whole D? Let me know below. The opening drive felt like a chess match, with Browning trying to carve us up early, completing a few short passes to keep his undefeated Bengals rolling. But our front seven, led by Jonathan Greenid, who powered through his own oblique tweak, stuffed Chase Brown for minimal gains, forcing a 3rd and long that screamed turnover. That's when safety Harrison Smith, the ageless wizard at 36, worked his magic. He leaped like a man half his age to tip Browning's pass intended for T. Higgins right into Rodgers' waiting hands at our own 13-yard line. Rodgers didn't hesitate. Eyes downfield. He exploded with that sprinter speed from his UMass days, dodging 2 tacklers and burning 87 yards down the left sideline for the pick-6. Touchdown Vikings! The crowd erupted, purple smoke filling the air, as we jumped to a 7-0 lead just minutes in. It was pure adrenaline, the kind that makes you believe in destiny. Fans, did that return give you chills? I was yelling at my screen. Tell me you felt it too. That score set the tone, but Rodgers wasn't done feasting. He was just warming up, prowling the secondary like a Viking raider on the prowl. The Bengals tried to answer, mixing runs and screens to Jamar Chase, who's been torching secondaries all year with 18 catches for 250 yards already. Yet Flores dialed up pressure, blitzing from everywhere, and Wentz on offense answered with a quick 3-and-out boot. Back came Cincy, Browning dumping it to Noah Fant on a flat route near midfield. Fant, ironically a former Viking, snagged it and rumbled for extra yards. But Rodgers, he tracked like a heat-seeking missile, closing the gap in a blink and unleashing a vicious punch that stripped the ball clean at the 34-yard line. No one touches it. Rodgers scoops and scores again, this time weaving 66 yards the other way for his second defensive TD of the half. 20-3 Vikings, and the stadium was shaking. It's moments like this that etch legends. What would you have done in that foot race? Tackle or celebrate early? By now, the Bengals were shell-shocked, their offense sputtering with 3 turnovers in the first half alone. But Rodgers kept the pressure dialed to 11. Late in the second, Cincy pushed into our territory, Browning threading a slant to Chase, who's no slouch with his elite hands. Chase cradled it, looking for yards after catch, but Rodgers shadowed him like glue. One-on-one coverage that shut down any big play. Then, boom. Another lightning-quick strip, the ball squirting loose at the 25, and our D swarms to recover. No score this time, but it forced a punt, and we tacked on a field goal to balloon it to 23-3. Earlier, Rodgers even blanketed T. Higgins on a deep shot, breaking up what could have been a TD and saving 6 right there. This guy wasn't just playing, he was dominating, forcing 3 of their 5 lost fumbles total. It's the stuff of highlight reels, Vikings fans. Pure chaos for the enemy. Imagine if he keeps this up. Playoffs, here we come. Who's got the hot take on his next big play? Halftime hit like a thunderclap, with our Vikings up 34-3. Wait, how? Wentz was slicing it up, going 14 for 20 for 173 yards and 2 TDs, looking every bit the gunslinger who once dragged Philly to the brink of glory. Tight ends TJ Hawkinson and Josh Oliver feasted, each hauling in scoring grabs. Hawkinson's red zone laser from 12 yards out had the crowd in frenzy. His first score since that brutal ACL tear last year. And don't sleep on Jordan Mason. The 49ers cast-off stepped in for injured Aaron Jones and bulldozed for 116 yards on just 16 carries, including 2 rushing TDs that gobbled clock and crushed souls. Mason's vision and burst reminded me of Dalvin in his prime. 119 total yards. Folks, efficiency at its finest. The locker room vibe? Electric, with players hyping Rodgers like he just sacked Odin himself. This wasn't luck. It was execution, turning a backup QB game into a rout. Skull to the depth chart? Who's your unsung hero from that half? Mason or Hawk? Spill it. The second half? Mercy rule vibes as we poured it on with a pair more scores, including a Wentz bootleg keeper that sealed the 48-10 final. Our biggest blowout since 21. But let's zoom in on those tight end TDs, because our passing game without McCarthy could have been shaky. Yet Wentz spread the wealth like a vet. Hawkinson's grab? A contested fade in the end zone against 2 defenders. Toe-tapping glory for his 5th TD in 8 games since returning. Stats that scream Pro Bowl. Oliver, the gritty blocker turned receiver, bullied his way for a 22-yard score. His first of the year, showing why we extended him last offseason. Wentz's accuracy under duress, hit rate over 70%, proved he's not just a bridge. He's a beast channeling that childhood Vikings dream. And with Jefferson quiet but efficient at 85 yards, the offense hummed at 420 total. It's proof our scheme adapts, no matter who's slinging it. Fans, if Wentz starts in Dublin next week, you buying tickets? I am. Rodgers' stat line was absurd. 2 TDs, 2 forced fumbles recovered, 1 for 6, plus a 3rd strip that led to points, all in 28 snaps, earning a perfect PFF grade, the first since we started tracking in 06. He outran everyone on that 87-yard pick, clocked at 22 miles per hour, faster than some WRs, and his punch on Fant? A masterclass in ball security awareness. Acquired for peanuts in free agency after his 23 gambling suspension. Rodgers silenced doubters, crediting Flores Prep. They schemed me to shine. Now, he's got Defensive Player of the Week locked. Maybe MVP chatter. For a secondary that's allowed just 180 pass yards per game, this cements us as top 5. Vikings news alert. Rodgers is the heartbeat of this D. What nickname you giving him? The Stripper or History Maker? Vote in comments. Cincy's nightmare deepened with 5 turnovers, 3 fumbles lost in the half, including Samaj Perrine's thumb tweak exit after coughing it up. Their 3rd straight possession ending in giveaway. Browning, solid in 23 relief with 70% completions, looked rattled, 2 picks, including Rodgers, and just 189 yards on 22 of 38. Without Burrow's wizardry, that toe surgery sidelines him till December at best. Their O-line crumbled, allowing 4 sacks and 0 rhythm. Chase had 72 yards but dropped potential bombs, Higgins blanked late, and their run game, laughable at 2.3 yards per carry. First loss drops him to 2-1, but facing Denver on MNF next? Oof, it's a wake-up for Zach Taylor's crew. As Vikings fans, we feast on chaos like this. Who's next on our hit list? Wentz's debut? Pure poetry for a guy who's bounced from Philly to Indy to DC and beyond. Now 2-1 as a starter lifetime with us after this gem. That 14 of 20 line doesn't scream fireworks, but efficiency wins. No picks, quick releases averaging 2.4 seconds, and those TE strikes showed poise. Grew up idolizing Chris Carter, and yesterday he lived the dream, hitting 173 yards like it's 17 MVP form. With McCarthy eyeing Week 5 return in London, Wentz buys time. But if he strings W's, does he steal the gig? Nah, but respect the journey. Vikings news scoop. He's our lucky charm. You feeling the Wentz wave or holding for JJ? Sound off. Mason's 116 yards? On 16 pops, that's 7.25 per carry. Bursting for 22 and 18-yarders that flipped field position and morale. Stepping up Sans Jones, who's week to week on that hammy, he embodied that next man up grit, finishing with 2 TDs including a goal line truck stick. From undrafted to 49ers backup to our savior, his story's got that underdog fire we love. Paired with Cam Akers' spell work, our backfield's versatile. Imagine a healthy Jones-Mason duo? Unstoppable. Who's your RB1 right now? Tell me why in the replies. Defensive depth shown. 5 turnovers, but Harrison Smith's tip on the PICK-6 was vintage. His 35th career INT assist, tying him for 3rd all-time among safeties. Greenid notched a sack despite the oblique, and our LB stuffed the box, limiting Brown to 41 yards. Flores' scheme forced errors, with blitz packages hitting 40% rate. This unit's allowed just 15 points per game, top 3 in red zone stops at 28%. It's the foundation for our 2-1 start. Skull to the trenches. What's your bold D prediction for Pittsburgh? Bengals fallout? Burrow's absence exposes cracks. Their 4-3 run in 23 with Browning was gritty. But yesterday's meltdown, with Fant in concussion protocol post-strip, screams rebuild mode. Chase vented frustration post-game. We gotta protect the Rock. At 2-1, they're buyers at deadline, but 3 months without Joey. Playoff odds dip to 45%. For us, it pads our NFC North lead over a shaky Lions squad. Who's winning the division? Us or Detroit? Debate time. Wrapping this epic. From Rodgers' history book half to Wentz's steady hand and Mason's grind. This 48-10 thumping proves our Vikings are contenders, flaws and all. We move to 2-1, eyes on that Dublin showdown with Pitt. Can we keep the turnover train rolling? You've been with me through every heart-pounding moment, Vikings fam. If this fired you up, smash that like, drop your game balls in comments, subscribe for more Vikings news breakdowns, and share with your Skull Squad to spread the purple pride. Until next time, keep the faith. Skull Vikings.